here we are, the start of week 2. The first week we did multiple videos on throughout the 7 days. Sorry, there's like bugs, mosquitoes or something. 7 days, and we space those out with multiple videos, and we won't continue doing that because probably going to get bored, because it's going to be a lot of us just going through the house and the different outbuildings and separating things. And so I think we showed a lot of that in our first videos on how we're organizing and separating it. And then also a lot of yard property work. And so those are our 2 things this week. Well, that's 2 of the things this week. And then the third thing this week is a lot of phone calls and consultations, appointments. So we have things like our septic tank. We don't even actually know if we have a septic tank. We're supposed to have a septic tank, but this house was grandfathered in and it's definitely not up to code. So we need to call somebody and see what's going on with the septic tank, or if it's just a holding tank. We will probably do composting toilets, but currently there is a flush toilet in the house, and so it's got to be going somewhere. The second thing is the well, checking our well and seeing, how deep it is, what condition the water's in. It's just something that you should get checked every so often. I don't remember how long, but we'll probably do a video specifically on all of these different topics. Then the other one is going to be a general contractor, just to come over and look at everything and kind of give us some ideas on the conditions of the house and what needs to be done. Let's see, the other one is going to be the pest control. So we need to figure out with the termites where all the termites are and the treatment plan for that. And so, so we have, those are our main priorities this week, is just, again, still separating and cleaning things out, the yard work, property work, and then phone calls and consultations. So we'll try to probably just do a general video once a week of just kind of everything that's going on, so you guys can kind of walk alongside us and see what it's like, day to day. But those will be done in a weekly video. And then we'll do more specific videos as we go through the process and as we learn. You can look for more specific topics, and of course anything that has to do with the home. So, homesteading and homeschooling, homes minimizing, and of course please let us know what you guys want to see. And we want this to be educational, inspirational. We're so glad you're here along for the ride. And I think it's time for me to get to work.
In 2019, we outgrew our house, so we downsized to a home on wheels. We built out our Sprinter van and traveled the country until we decided to buy a property, a home on land. We are Marcus, Janie, Rhea, and Kaya.
There's just so many little vignettes everywhere. And so we're just going to label them all and add them into our rhythm once we get them controlled and under control. And each day of the week we'll have a different section that we work on and make sure that we maintain it as we progress with the construction, and then as we progress with adding in more plants, perennials, and annuals, making this, right now mostly everything here is ornamental. And so we want to get to the point where it's more of food gardens, medicinal, but hopefully we'll find some stuff. Like I know that we found some they have some goldenrod here. I haven't found a lot of other stuff. Marcus has been working on the plant identification, and so we're excited to see what else we find around here. It's another beautiful morning. But it's chilly. It's our first chilly morning. What are we doing today, boss?
Probably more pruning, and we're going to try to set up that tent maybe, see what it looks like, maybe.
Okay, I hope you got a good laugh at that, because we totally did not know what we're doing with that tent. And I just watched a YouTube video. I'll link it down below so you can see how this guy does it. So that makes way more sense than us trying to do it. Thank goodness for people who do instructional videos. So we kind of have the stuff to do it, kind of not. It feels like it's gonna be, we need to go get stuff, and I don't think we're ready to do that right now. And so instead, because we really just want to have a tent set up so that we can have a shared meal with people this week. And so instead, we are going to go clean out the shop. It's been something that we need to do, or not the shop, the carport, which I'm calling, what is it? It's our carport, but it's going to be an outdoor kitchen eventually. And maybe still a carport.
Yes, it will be a carport.
Yes.
It's going to house the truck. Thunder.
Yes. Thunder.
Rolling thunder.
But we're going to go, we need to clean that out anyway. Marcus has already been working on that, and we are just going to clean it out as best as we can and just kind of have it be a home. So that's this process. I feel like as we're going through everything, and this house is, it's not livable yet, but at the same time, we still want to be making it our home as we go, and not having it feeling like we're just here to work and not be able to enjoy life. We want to enjoy the process as we go. So we're going to get to work on that. But at least with the tent now, we know that we have all the pieces. And well, there's some things that we need, but for the most part, we have the pieces, and we know that it's going to be good. So we're going to keep that tent and eventually have some awesome parties and dinners and probably dances. And
yeah, that's what I do really well.
yes, Marcus can teach everybody how to dance. All right, so let's get back to work. The carport is getting there, guys. Now, I have had a hard time remember the name carport, because I think it's because I don't want to use it as a carport. This is an incredible place, and it is one day going to be our outdoor kitchen is the plan. And we are going to host a dinner here this weekend, or next week, hopefully, if people will come. But look how nasty this wall is. Like, all of these walls have to eventually come down. But I noticed, like, this one's so bad, and but I was walking around and I came out here. So look, it has like a cute little deck of pallets, but there's nothing on the outside. That's all that's there, which makes sense of why it's rotted. So we're going to go ahead and just yank all of this stuff out today. And so that way we'll open that up. That'll be gone. And then we're just going to try to make this as homey as possible. I don't know if you remember in the first video, we were talking about all the nests. I don't know, can you see that? Mud dauber. But look, down here. Oh, yeah. It's good stuff. All these critters and insects, I know they're beneficial in many ways, at least some of them. But it is time for them to find a new home.
Woo is right. This place that we took over, the previous gentleman kept a lot. Like, a lot. And no disrespect to him.
And I don't know that he kept a lot. He lived here for 40 years. I mean, he kept a lot.
Yes. And so my grandfather, he did the same. He kept things in case he might need them later. We're like going through the stuff that someone kept things that they just didn't need to. Like insane things that they kept because they might need it one day, another time. So when we sold our house, we went through things, and I realized that I was like keeping things that I didn't need to. And it came to my attention that, you know, there's some things you can let go of and like get later if you need through thrift shops or just buying it again. But don't keep your house cluttered with stuff you don't need. It's overwhelming. You become a slave to the things you own. Mm-hmm. You know, to take care of them and find room for them, and yeah. So that's what we're facing off on right now. We're going through things, and like a lot of the stuff can be, or some of the stuff can be kept, but a lot, it's just got to go.
This is why I'm a huge advocate and have become a huge advocate, because again, we're not just like talking about coming from no experience. We both had different things. Like Mark has held on to things that were of sentimental value, things from his past, family things, because he's lost a lot of his family. So that was his way of holding on. And I, on the other hand, was far from minimalist. I had like a closet. I had so much stuff. And when I started the journey to downsizing, I just realized how much I bought without thinking about it. So when we're looking at this place, it's not only, because I've seen some hoarders. I don't know if you've ever watched that show Hoarders. Like, this property is nothing like that. To me, it is, he lived here for 40 years and over time just kept collecting stuff. So rather than not buying stuff or getting rid of things, if you have a space for it, you just shove it in that place. And so that is one of the things that we have learned in our journey of, why I'm an advocate for open shelf concept, small spaces, just to a place where you don't end up getting things. I mean, trust me, I so many times want to go to the stores. I go into the stores and want to buy things because they're beautiful. And I'm like, I need this, and this would be great here. It's a self-control thing, because you end up having items and it's great, but you don't necessarily need it. And then it ends up in a storage room or shoved in a closet. And so this is what we're going through now. And even though we have this big property with these different places, our goal really is everything has a place. There's not going to be stuff shoved in corners. Everything has its place, so that way we don't end up getting stuff, like a bunch of stuff in, yeah. Like, I get it, just being resourceful, right? Like, we are all about being resourceful and not having to buy everything. But when you end up having so much of it, then it just piles and piles and piles. So trying to reuse and recycle without adding things that are going to help me out.
Use what you need, but don't fill up spaces just because you have space to fill. You know, you're gonna just, in the long run, create stuff that goes into the landfill. Eventually it will. It will.
Yeah. So our whole goal with all of this is everything that we're going to put down, do it right. That's something that my parents taught me, is do it right the first time. Like, you might have to spend some more money, but in the long term, you're not going to. If you do your research, your due diligence, we're going to figure out what we need to do and do it to the best of our abilities to where it's going to last for a long period of time. And at the same time thinking, how can I do this with reusing, recycling? How can I do it with as natural products as possible? And I think we're probably, like, your ears are probably burning now. Did we drill this in? Okay, we're done for now.
Done.
All right, Marcus. Marcus, show us.
So we got the barrel there, the blades are in here. And plug-in is down here.
Watch it not work now. Woohoo!
We can make some mortar.
We're gonna make some plaster. The thing is, you don't actually have to have a mixer. A lot of people just do it on. What's the matter? Is it stuck?
I'm trying not to shock myself.
Oh, why would you shock yourself?
Well, because it's not coming off very easily, and you have to, like, grip it
Oh,
and kind of. I don't like the plug.
okay. Might have to figure out a switch. There's no switch. There's no safety switch. This is old school, y'all. And you don't have to have a mixer to make clay, whether you're doing, that could be anything. It could be if you're doing, oh my gosh, my brain, like mud mix, like from clay, sand, and straw, or if you're doing like a, oh my gosh, Marcus, what am I thinking? Limestrong, the company, they make limestone. Like, no, Tadillac's one of the things, but they make all different kinds of plasters. So different plasters. You don't have to use a mortar mixer. There's all different ways. As far as like making clay or making plaster from the earth, you can just get a tarp and put it all on there and stomp on it on your bare feet. But when you're doing big jobs, like what Jim recommended, he's like, it's awesome to have a mortar mixer. So the fact that we have one here, just here, I think it's meant to be, and I'm so excited.
What are you doing,
Get
Kaya?
some 2-cycle motor oil.
What are you
Can we start
doing?
writing a list? I'm gonna forget
Yeah.
everything that we talked about that you remember. Is on there. What are these?
Oak, sort of.
And these. Talk about the spiders that you were just what our conversation was about the spiders.
Oh, we're talking about cellar spiders. And there was one at our play practice, and I touched it. Well, I didn't touch it. My friend touched it with a stick. And they spin when they get scared. They don't run away. They spin.
Yes.
So that's the one you just showed is a wolf spider, and she had her babies on her back, and the babies are called spiderlings. They're like little eggs with legs. And this species of spider is really cool because the babies stay on the mom until they're ready to move on. Spiders are like very beneficial because they eat like the things that bother us: insects, flies, other spiders, wasps, anything they can overpower. But a lot of the things that they eat are a nuisance to us. So they're good to have around. If you take away the predators, then the things that they prey on flourish. So you'll have more flies, you'll have more mosquitoes, you'll have more just nuisances. They're helpful. I know a lot of people are creeped out by them, but God created them for a reason, and they're actually pretty cool if you give them a chance.
Except orb weavers. I don't like them.
And brown recluses.
And
Yeah,
black widows.
so I will kill a brown recluse or a black widow. Those are a couple that I will kill, just because I know how venomous they are. Right there at the very top,
I can see.
and then there's a line. It looks like a fiddle.
Yeah, I can
So
see
sometimes they call them fiddleback spiders, but that's what they are. So they hide in stuff like this. Okay. So that one is going
Look,
to die.
there's a baby one right there too.
Yep. So these guys, he's going to die, unfortunately.
We took this wall down behind us because there was no metal on the outside. It was just this like rotted wood that you see over here. But that one we can't take down because there's metal behind it. We'll eventually do it, and then we'll eventually put a wall up here. But we're just trying to do something temporary for some nice hangout space. So I found these boards, and I don't know if you can see, they're just already, I don't know, they're 28 inches wide by I don't know how long, and there's 4 of them. So what I'm going to do is I just measured this whole length of this wall between the studs and made the division. So sometimes math is hard for me, so just to let you know, it's like, okay, they were each 20. I measured the whole length, and then each board was 28 inches. I'm doing 3 panels in that section. I'm going to do another one over here. So take the 113 minus 28 minus 28 minus 28, and then figure out the spacing. So it's like 7.25 inches in between each space. So now I'm going to go ahead and we just got some screws, measured the width of what we're dealing with here, and enough for the screw to go into the 2x4s, and we're just going to screw those in and just have, so that way, since we have all of the pallets here, it'll just distract it a little bit and kind of make it feel a little bit more enclosed until we get a real wall put up. So we're just making do with what we have, and eventually we'll do other things, but if we have the stuff and it's not going to take that long, why not? I don't think it's ever too early to make your house a home. I know as you're going through a renovation, and as we're going through a renovation, we definitely don't want to spend time or energy or money on things that we know is going to be replaced real soon. Like, for instance, I want to paint things that I know that's not a smart idea because we're going to be replacing things, and we have to assess the situation, observe, and come up with an action plan before making major changes on any parts of the house or the property. But at the same time, you can still try to have spaces or areas that make it feel homey and inviting, and that may just be setting up a tent or cleaning a area in the yard and putting up a table and putting a vase of flowers on there. So there's all kinds of options, and so right now we've just decided to do that with our carport, which will be future outdoor kitchen, and it obviously still needs a lot of work, so we're not going to be doing anything like right now. I would love to paint those walls, but they're going to be replaced, so it doesn't really make sense. The only way I'd do that if I had some, if there was found some paint here, or if I was going to just hang some temporary things over the top of them. But at the same time, we can still make this a cozy area where we can gather and eat meals and, just enjoy our time here and be grateful and thankful. And so that's what I'm doing right now as we continue to clean up the property and make some changes. I'm spending a little bit of time just to make this a great space.